So I'm pretty sure many of y'all know who Cardi B is, and she's actually been one of the few celebrities that are actually getting into politics. Maybe not so much so as, constantly being on the forefront, trying to, run for office or anything like that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but she has been vocal about her certain opinions that she has, okay? And we have one recently that has apparently ruffled some feathers, okay? Because some people are saying, like, girl, you see, you're just so out of touch. You don't know. You're not about the people. You don't know what we're going through. You don't know our struggles or anything like that. What you're saying is very ignorant, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So we're going to get into what she said. So it's a very small quote that this woman said. Okay. So it's Cardi B told Rolling Stone that she will not be voting in this year's, upcoming presidential election. This is what she said. I don't mess with both of y'all. Okay. So that is what she said. And that is what is triggering a lot of people. Okay. Because obviously she's referring to Trump and Biden. Okay. And people are saying, you see, that's such an ignorant thing to say. I don't agree with it. I don't like the fact that you're saying this. Like, essentially, you need to redact this because people are going to be thinking, oh, well, let me go and follow in her lead. But you need to get out and vote. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. So I kind of just wanted to kind of break this down a little bit. And here's the thing. You think about it like this. It's like, okay, you go out and vote. You got two bad choices. Okay. And this is what Cardi's saying. You got Biden and you got Trump. I don't like neither one of these fools. Okay, so do I do this one or do I do this one? Uh, well, if I just don't vote, I wouldn't be supporting either of them, right? But people want her to go and pick a side, oh, I want you to definitely pick this particular person. It's like, but she doesn't really have to. You know what I mean? Because why would she need to? If she's okay with not doing this, she said, I'm not going to vote. She said, I'm not going to vote. I don't mess with y'all. Why not you just go and vote? Because at the end of the day, it's not like either win isn't going to help her. She's telling you, okay, this guy is, I don't like him. This guy, I don't like him either. So why even waste my time voting? Now, could she, if whoever may be on the ballot, when time comes, if Joey Joe can actually, get up and be competent enough. Because I heard they're supposed to be having a debate, which, okay. But that's the thing, and it's like if she doesn't like either, what would be the point in voting for one that I don't like? Yeah, I mean, what would be the point? You're not getting anything from that. So that was one of the things. And some people, they want to talk about everything that Biden has done, which the list is not that long, y'all. Okay. I'm just saying, okay? But that's the thing. What has he really done that is of significance? You know what I mean? Like, where you're like, yeah, you know what? This right here, this is great, okay? And I don't want to get into all this extra stuff, but I mean, let's just look at the facts here, okay? One, what are some things that the Biden Harris administration can actually take credit for? And one thing, where is Kamala? This lady be gone. She'd just be gone, and no one, everyone's looking like, where's Kamala at? Okay, it's like you hardly see this woman. Is she still reminiscing on locking parents up for their children's truancy? I don't know. Okay, I don't know, but that's the thing. I'm like, what have y'all done? And certain things that they have done, they don't take credit for. You just think, maybe the Republicans did it. And then you found out that the Democrats proposed it. It's like, well, wouldn't you? Isn't this like marketing 101, good political strategy? Shouldn't you take credit for as much stuff as you have done? It's almost as though y'all don't want to win. But I don't know. Okay. Another thing, codifying or codifying Roe versus Wade. That's also a big thing that people have talked about. You have the war that's going on as well. And you have a lot of people who are just anti-Biden because of those things. Also, another thing that you have, food, gas, overall inflation, bank bailouts, printing out $1 trillion a day, no student loan forgiveness, job cuts. As you see, so many people are losing their job. No UBI, no universal health care. And you could say, Well, Trump could have done that. Obama could have done it too. Wasn't Biden, right? Was he not the VP of that? Okay. So it's like, you have all this stuff that that people want, yet you don't give them what they want. People have been saying, okay, what about the student loan forgiveness? You're like, oh, well, we got you something. You had to been paying on the student loan for 20 years. And I mean, and at this time, student loans are more expensive than they were 20 years ago. So it's like, okay, well, what are you supposed to do? Can you forgive these loans for people who just graduated a couple years ago, whatever the case may be? And instead of being like, yeah, we'll forgive those, you're like, well, we could cherry pick. And it's like, aren't you the president? Aren't you? I guess I'm confused because it seems like for us, our president makes it seem like nothing can get done. It's like, I wish I could, but but then you go and look at some of these other presidents and they're like, I'm getting this stuff done. Okay. So that's the thing for me. I'm just like, you look at all the stuff that Biden hasn't done, and it's like, well, why would I vote for him? I just don't get it. Then you have some people who will go and say, oh, you see, that's what y'all over here talking about. You want to vote for Trump, Alex. That's what you want to do. You want Trump, or you guys want Trump over here. You guys want to turn it into a dictatorship. And that. Well, it wasn't like that we don't live in democracy anyways. So let's just keep that real. But it's like, that's not what we had before when he was in office. So I don't get where this new, a trendy ideology is coming from, because it's like, that didn't happen when he was in office already. And some people may say, oh, well, the hats, and you know what that signifies. But he didn't turn people into racist. If you were one, you were one already. He didn't just come into office and then like, okay, I elect this many people to be anti-black and this many people to be anti-this. And he didn't do all that. You already were. So, okay. Now, when you look at Trump, one of the big things, the tax breaks that he was giving out left and right, that now he's claiming that he's going to try to give out to regular people, which they're in the single digits, we're in the double digits. You know what I mean? So I don't know how all of that will work anyways, but you have stuff like that. So even that is bad. Okay. So, it's like when you look at both, and of course, you have different, personal laws for certain people, certain individual groups. But you look at it and it's like, they're not really worth me getting up to the voting polls for. It's like, what's the point of me getting up and going? So I understand what she's talking about, but at the end of the day, I would just keep it real. You look at it and neither side is on your side, if we gonna keep it real. Okay? Neither side is really on your side, okay? For me personally, I would say maybe look at the Green Party, maybe look at independents, or if you're just going to be that person, heck, maybe you need to sit out too, if that's what you personally want to do. But if you want to get out and vote and do what you do, get out and vote and do what you do. Because at the end of the day, I look at it like this. We have a terrible job market, okay? This crazy return to office mandate that many people despise anyways, okay? No universal health care, like I mentioned, no UBI, no increase in the minimum wage, which I think is $7.25 right now. You have people who, really, I think, my own personal opinion, it needs to be $20 at the bare minimum. Okay, then everything, goes accordingly. But that does not then mean you then up all the costs for everything else. Okay, you can't be having all these layoffs, having all these jobs shipped overseas, etc. You go and say, oh, well, we got to do return to office. We can't do work from home because that just isn't going to work. You know what, man, we got to lay off 10,000 people. Let's go and ship them and let's go ahead and ship those jobs over to these other countries and let them work from home because I'm not paying for a building over there. So that just really showed what your true agenda was. But then you have custom Social Security. That's also a huge thing as well. Because I don't know if you all have seen it, but like in France, for example, when they were trying to mess up the for the retirement age, they were trying to increase it. They were in the streets. They were like, "Nah, you ain't about to do that over here." Oh, you thought you were gonna? Oh, let's get our people. Let's get in the streets, okay? Because they were like, "No, you're not gonna just go and take advantage of us like that." But you see, a lot of these other countries, they have a whole bunch of stuff that we don't have. You know. Then we got, and I want, this was in part of my notes. The squad with AOC and all of them, which I honestly don't see them doing much of anything, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. And at the end of the day, it comes down to, this is a class war over anything else. Okay. It's the rich, it's the have and the have nots. Okay. That just is what it is. So it's like you're looking at all this, and you could put Cardi in there. You could say, oh, well, you see, that's what I'm talking about. She's all the way at the top. Yes, she doesn't necessarily need all the benefits that the president would give you. Okay. She doesn't necessarily need all of that extra stuff because she is at a certain caliber. She's an entertainer. Okay. So those kind of people are at different calibers anyways, but she is not like she isn't making a point for the regular average citizen to look and think and be like, she's right. Because, okay, I voted for Biden and what happened? Okay, well, I voted for Trump, and I had overall people saying they have more money in their pocket. Okay. And I know some people make comments and they say, oh, y'all talking about them stimulus checks. No, people are talking about the car insurance was cheaper. Mine was. Food was cheaper, rent was cheaper, and you're looking at all this stuff that's going on. It's like, Mom, I have more money in my pocket under Trumpy Trump. Okay. So it's like, that's why you look at that and people want to say, oh, it's just a little bit of money. It's like, okay, maybe to you who has thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars sitting in your bank account, but your average person, they're going to look out for themselves. And if they say, you know what, Biden, I'm sorry, Joey, but you gotta go, okay? Because I need to go for Mr. Trump's over here. Then that's what they would end up doing, okay? At the end of the day, people are entitled to whatever vote they personally want to do. If you want to go Republican, go ahead. Democrat, go ahead. Independent, Green, whatever the case may be. Progressive, knock yourself out. Everyone is entitled to their own thing. And at the end of the day, Cardi was not going out here saying, y'all do not vote for XYZ. She did not say that. She just said what she wasn't doing. But let me know what you all think about such story down below.